and
Collin.
And we are ready to bring you Season 3, the final season of Bad Batch.
The penultimate.
Yeah, Episode 14, Flash Strike.
Yeah, so we're getting again. This is the end.
This is our second to last episode.
Yeah.
The pieces are coming into place here. Are
they dropping 15, 16?
No, it's actually just 15.
Yeah, okay.
So this is actually the first two seasons, before we really dive into it. First two seasons were 16 episodes each, so we were actually cut short an episode this season, which is neither here nor there. Like, if they were like, no, we can give you the best season in 15 episodes as opposed to adding like something else into it, I'll always take that.
Right.
And
don't break the animators' backs.
yeah, right. Like this stuff has been so much fun and so great so far. So it's like, it might have sounded like I was complaining we don't have 16. I care about. I care about quality. I care about the quality of it, and
that's something about both of us.
Yeah. If I care about the quality. So if 15's the best season we get, then hell yeah. Like,
sometimes I hate when it's like an 8-episode season. It shouldn't be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There should be like 10, 12 episodes, whatever. But that's not this case.
Yeah.
15's perfect. But anyway, so we pretty much start this episode, Flash Strike, right where we left off.
I love the opening music to it too.
Exactly.
It's like
I was gonna say it does not. It starts off hot. It starts off just hot. It starts off with this great music. We're getting off to action right away. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
We're in hyperspace. The Bad Batch are trying to make a plan to detach and also hide from all of the radars and scopes and all of everything because they're going in straight.
Yeah. So if you remember, Echo is on the ship still.
It's on the Imperial ship, the Imperial science vessel.
Right, and they're attached straight up to the ship. So he's on it, kind of sneaking around doing his thing.
Yeah.
They're trying to figure out how they're going to detach without being detected by all these sensors and blah, blah, blah.
I think it's even Rampart.
Yeah,
who actually asks, I believe it's him, who's like, how is Echo going to get off? And Hunter and Crosshairs are like, oh, we don't need to worry about it. He's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he knows the plan. He knows exactly what he needs to do. Echo is capable of handling himself.
If anyone needs to worry, it's us right now. We need to get off this on a whole ship. He can get off his way. Anyway, yeah. So at that moment, I kind of was like, all right. Yeah. I won't worry about Echo for now.
But it was a good point because I was like, oh man, what are we gonna do about Echo, man? Our boy, what are we gonna do? But when they were like, no, have faith that Echo knows what he's doing. I was like, yeah, why don't I have faith in Echo? Right. Where did this come from?
When didn't I have faith in it? Yeah. Anyway, so we cut to Scorch telling Hemlock basically that they're coming. Yeah. They figured out back when they were about to track the thing that it was the Batch that stole the ship, came to this docking station to track the science ship that's coming to Tantus. And they're like, somehow they're maybe tracking it, so Hemlock just knows they're coming. He's like, send out, ships, send out some fighters to... Yeah,
there's that potential security breach that they say, because that's all from Echo, going in and checking the systems and all that kind of stuff. But then we get that cut back after the rest of the Bad Batch. They have their plan, they know how they're going to disengage from from the shuttle, and then we get into the fight. Yeah, going down to Tantus.
Too quickly do they get caught though. They were probably going to do the trick that Fee taught them, where you just turn off your engine and just fall right before you land, and you turn your engines back on right before you land, and they didn't have time to do that. No. They didn't have time to pull off any tricks or maneuvers because they got caught pretty much immediately.
Well, Crosshair also calls out the non-standard formation here too. So he's like, they knew we were coming and stuff. So there was a tip off at some point, and that they figured it out, that they knew that they were coming.
Which isn't crazy because they did steal that ship. But anyway.
Yeah, and then Hemlock obviously, he's engage the shuttle, lock down the base, and then the air fight basically continues.
Yeah, which is a sick fight, man. Yeah. They got this. They really have a dogfight, but at first Batch can't really do much fighting. They're just trying to escape. and they're just getting shot at. Even the turrets are shooting at them.
Yeah.
And that's when we kind of cut back real quick to the kids. And the kids and Omega just reassuring them that that's not bad explosions. Those are good explosions.
Yeah. Oh, because the kids are like, "What is that?" And like Omega,
like worried.
Here's the thing. I don't know if you noticed this. As like she hears it, the kids ask the question. She puts her hand on the table to do like a Hunter type move of like how Hunter can feel it, and like obviously Hunter has taught her how to like use that. But like we also know Omega has like the ability to touch like the Force a little bit, because like Gungi taught her how to like meditate and stuff. She has the midichlorian count and stuff. So now we're seeing all these things kind of like build to the fact of that like she has these. She's gathering these other abilities, but you see her hand. She goes from like just settling it to then spreading her hands out slightly on there, and then she's like, "They're laser cannons. My brothers are here."
Yeah, she knows.
And then you're like, "Oh yeah!"
Yeah, she's a beast. Like I've said this whole season, the character development on this character has been pretty amazing.
Oh yeah,
like it's almost like at the same tier as like Ahsoka's character development. It's just Ahsoka's had more time to develop.
She said absolutely.
Rosario Dawson said it best. Like Ahsoka's probably the most well-developed character in the Star Wars universe, if not, you know what I mean, outside of like Luke Skywalker, you know what I mean, like and those main characters. But those characters get convoluted because of legends and stuff. Her character's pretty much straightforward since the beginning. Yeah, and so this is one of those instances where it's maybe one of those characters you didn't necessarily like care about at the beginning. You cared for her as like a
child being caught up in all of this, like
but not much as a character you were rooting for Hunter, or Wrecker was cool, or blah, blah, you know what I mean. But Omega's really,
and she's heart and soul of the show, by far. But then we also I gotta call out Dr. Skalder here. Because we get Emery, who's like, okay, follow lockdown protocols, like watch the children, and I'll go secure the lab. And then Skalder's like, your concern for the specimens are unwarranted.
It just again shows you the specimen thing. Yeah. It's just he's compartmentalizing in his head. No,
Skalder's the other female doctor.
Right.
Yeah.
Or she's compartmentalizing in her head. Yeah. Well, all of them are at this base. You know what I mean? At this point, Hemlock's taught them all to compartmentalize their feelings from these aren't children. These are specimens. You know what I mean? These are others. Yep. These are something else, and it's not true. It's just not true.
Yeah, they're kids.
Yeah,
they're
at the end of the day,
they're living beings that can feel and think, and So we get to cut back to the Bad Batch ship, and this is where we get a little bit more of like that Fee action, because they do cut off the engines here, and Hunter flips the ship around so they're falling backwards, starts shooting up, takes out one of the like shuttle gun fighters that are coming after him. Shoots up like the engines, and then like almost
plays
like
chicken with the other one and starts shooting at that one and takes it out. And it's another great air fight. Yeah, it's very much reminiscent of Rey turning off the engines of the Millennium Falcon. Like the engine turning off thing is like almost a trope now at this point. And it's great. It's fun every time. I love it. It doesn't need to make like physical sense. Who cares about it like that sometimes in Star Wars, especially. Yeah. Not trying.
They're in a galaxy far away. It doesn't matter, man. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Galaxy far away.
Exactly. So anyway, that was a fun scene, and we finally like kind of like get a semi plan to get off the ship. So they Hunter basically puts it in autopilot, tells us like we're jumping off. Rampart's freaking out. No.
He's screaming. He's screaming like he's screaming like a child.
Right.
He's like, no.
And he doesn't want. So basically, the batch starts going off, and then Hunter and Rampart jump. They're last, and his Rampart's cable starts coming like loose.
Hunter just
shoots it. He comes down. He catches Rampart real quick. Then one of the fighters come back and takes the ship out right as they unhook and land. The report goes back to to Hemlock that the report goes back to Hemlock that
the shuttle's
down.
Down and destroyed. They start searching the area.
So he's like, search the area. I don't trust that they're dead. Like,
and when the science vessel gets in, we're searching everybody. We're scanning crew, ship, nobody leaves that dock, that bay, without authorization.
Exactly.
And so, man, dude, that whole bit though, like of everyone falling and stuff, like that's so great.
Yeah, and then they're just falling deep into this forest, which like, it's like, oh, cool, they're getting closer, but it's like, yeah, no, they're deep behind enemy lines right now. Like
before the forest though, we get the cut from like the landing pad to then we see Echo. We see Echo finally escape.
Yeah.
Like we see Echo escape. We also see him take out a droid and takes like the droid's hand and stuff here to make him be able to blend in a little bit more, which is a great idea.
Yeah, 100%, and be able to like access data pads and stuff. So he's got a plan. He's got, again, we didn't need to worry about Echo.
Exactly. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, so he escapes the ship with a suit, like in
a suit, because Scorch Team gets in there.
Yeah.
But then we get to we cut back to the jungle now, and in here, I love this bit.
Come back to the jungle.
Welcome to the jungle.
But yeah. So again, deep behind enemy lines. Like this is
absolutely
monsters. We're in the forest. You know what I mean? Like there's all types of stuff that can get them, not just troopers.
Yeah. So it's Crosshair and Wrecker like walking through the forest and whatnot, and then they find like Rampart, and like Wrecker's like, where's Hunter? We gotta go look for Hunter, and Crosshair's like, easy. He's going towards the facility. We'll meet him, and then we see Hunter pop out from behind the tree, and he's like, "Hey guys!"
Yeah, exactly. But either way, again, Crosshair's just reassuring. Like, don't if he's gone, he's got a plan.
Yeah.
But so they kind of head off, and they're having their little trying to figure out what's going on,
right.
and Rampart just decides to take a little nappy poo.
Yeah. He's like they're walking, and they see the Imperials coming, so they run past the Imperials. We get the cut back to the landing bay. We see Echo merge in with the other stormtroopers from the landing bay. We get the cut back to the vault then, and like the kids are like, why haven't the droids come to take in our vitals and everything? And they're all like, I don't know, that's kind of weird.
Things are different.
And Omega's like, all right, now's my time to go scout this stuff out. Now's the best chance. So I need you guys to have my back and keep lookout. And
she needs to continue that plan that she was starting in the last episode.
Yeah, of
get them out of there.
like removing the pieces from the
She's
wall.
She's not just
going to
wait for her brothers to come. She's going to meet her. She's part of this plan. Yeah. She's not like save me anymore. She's
an
very
active participant.
Active participant. Yeah.
And so she's like, if I'm not back in time, I need you guys to cover me. And I love this. These kids are like so innocent because they were probably taken as young as like Byron is there, that little baby and stuff. And they're like, what does that mean? Like, what do you mean? They're like, well, come up with an excuse, delay them. Like, if I'm not there, like, you'll figure out something. Like you'll get it. It'll be fine. And then Omega goes into the wall and starts following like the tube system. Then we get back to the Tantus jungle.
Yeah.
And Rampart is right here. Let me get all nice and and then we hear
yeah. He's literally. It does. To be fair to him, it does kind of look like bark, but man, be a little more aware of your surroundings.
Yeah.
And it's this like giant creature that starts chasing them through the jungles. Again, it's not just Imperials. There's like monsters in this forest that are out to get them. That
they've got to be careful of and whatnot. We also get right before this in the jungle, we get the Rampart and Crosshair kind of like butting heads of like good soldiers.
Yeah.
You used to say good soldiers follow orders, and
Rampart's
and Crosshair's like, but like if you fall behind, you get left behind.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
They're both kind of posturing.
Yeah.
Like both Rampart's trying to get to Crosshair, and it's kind of clearly working, and he's just posturing like, I'll leave you behind, but I don't think he even would. Even if he was like something happened, I don't think Crosshair would leave him behind. We saw like how he treats somebody.
Well, and Crosshair even says it like Rampart's like, no, you're like me. You're only loyal to you. And everybody.
Well,
else.
No, that's him trying to say like you're a psychopath like me.
Yeah.
And
but
Crosshair
says I have changed.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Rampart's like, sure.
Rolls his eyes basically, So Rampart's trying to project onto Crosshair how he is, and Crosshair, no, his journey was quite a bit more complicated than Rampart's, right?
Yeah.
So
Then we get
Rampart fell into the system, whereas he was built to abide by the system, and still went against it eventually, you know. So.
Right. So I gotta say, one knock on this episode, we get so many random cuts of Omega just like climbing up through like walls and stuff. Like we get like too many of those.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like we needed the one shot of her going into the wall, maybe one more in there, and then like we haven't got to it yet, so we'll save it when we see that really cool spoilery animal there. I'll give you that. We'll give you guys that hint. I don't know why you guys would be watching this if you haven't already watched the episode, but I mean, hey, whatever. If not, it's on Disney Plus.
Hey,
but so we're finally at the jungle, and you know Rampart sits down, and we get the animal attack. The beast is like is coming after them and like throwing Wrecker up against a tree and stuff, and like, man, Wrecker gets knocked around like a rag doll.
Exactly.
With the episode with Fee, I think like 2 episodes ago, like I really thought he almost was gonna like not make that jump. Seeing him here, bro, are they gonna kill Wrecker before the season's over? Like the dude's just getting beat up.
I know, it almost. Well, yeah, man, he has taken a few beatings in these, like this season especially.
Yeah.
But maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's just, maybe he's taking all his beatings now, and the rest haven't gotten theirs yet, right?
Yeah.
Like we'll see.
But this beast attack is so crazy.
Yeah.
It going after the Bad Batch, and then them all like running and shooting at it. The Imperial stormtroopers that are looking in the jungle for them then come crosshairs with it, and that beast, like, those troopers are just like, oh, we can take care of this beast, and that beast is like, nah, I'm here to ruin the Empire's day.
Yeah.
I am here to ruin.
Like he's like,
day.
oh, I was just trying to eat them, but you want me to eat you? That's cool.
I mean, like, that's great.
Yeah.
There's more of you guys here than them anyhow.
Exactly.
So yeah, let's
kind
get
of like
this.
A fortunate, unfortunate situation.
Right.
An unfortunate situation that turned fortunate.
But we also get Rampart, and like we get Rampart splitting from basically the Bad Batch. Rampart splits. He's still running through the jungle and is actually found by other Imperials. And then the Bad Batch like finally get to like a little clearing to take a breath. They might actually even be looking up at like the cliff and like the mountainscape, and they're like, wait a second, where's Rampart? And they're like, I don't know, he ran off the other way. And then they're like, can we go around this cliff? And they're like, no, we have to make our way up it. Then we cut back to like the final portion of this episode, man.
Yeah.
And we get back to the vault, and
they're finally like back to normal operations.
Yeah.
Ish, and the kids have to do their thing.
And so now they're starting to run vitals, and Skolder's there. Sammy is the first one to go. And the
Omega's still in the walls.
Omega's still in the walls. She's still crawling around in there, going through the like tubing system and whatnot. But so she goes to Sammy, the little blue child, and Sammy's first, and then gets her test and everything. Skolder's getting ready to leave, and she's like, "Wait, I'm still hungry. Can I have more food?" It was like very Oliver Twist, like, please, man, may I have some more?
Right.
And Skolder's just like, it'll pass. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, that was like that, like.
But the kids are at least trying,
No. It hurt me, Skolder saying that to the kid. Because, like,
you mean the specimen?
The specimen's like, oh god, ugh.
Yeah.
So like that hurt me, like just seeing that. Omega's still following the roots, but this is where we get the thing that we were just talking about a few minutes ago.
Yes.
We get the reveal of Azilla Beast, man.
Right.
There. And Omega is like, winner,
yes,
chicken dinner. I know what we can do with this bad boy here.
This is awesome, yeah.
And so like all the bells start going off for her. Like they see it being held captive and like tortured and stuff. We cut back to Skolder then going into Eva's room. Her blood is taken and like sent to wherever. And like Eva's like I don't feel good. Like I'm feeling well and all of this stuff. And like so Skolder's like, all right. Doesn't really catch on to anything yet. For somebody who hates all of these people, like, she takes at least
their
Eva
word
being
for
like,
it,
like Eva's like word of being like, I don't feel well, I feel sick. Like, she takes the extra few minutes to run the scan of her.
Yep.
Basically. And, you know, she gets scanned and everything's like fine.
Yeah.
You know, in
Which
the end, everything's
starts
fine.
maybe what's going on here.
Yeah. And so, like, Omega then starts heading out. We get that little quick back to there. And the Scolder and the droids are moving towards Omega now.
Mhm.
Because it goes Sammy, it goes Eva, then it'll go Omega, Jax, and then Byron for like the samples and everything being taken that way. And so Omega's next, and right before they get to Omega's door, Jax pops his head out and it's like, "Hey,
I volunteer."
Yeah. Take me as tribute.
Take me as tribute for sure.
And you know, again, they step up. They do the best that they can. They're untrained for the first time of being like, make a distraction, delay them getting into my room. All three of those kids. I mean, we can't.
At that point, they had like almost no options. So he's just like, all right, I'm gonna try.
Right? Like, and he's like, I'm gonna do the best that I can, and that's asking to go next. And we are showing that it is the right amount.
Mm-hmm.
Like, cause Scolder's like, you wait your turn, SP-32.
Yeah,
and it's like, ugh.
As that's happening, Omega's kind of.
And then we look. Everybody enters. The droid doesn't signal anything off, so you're like, oh, is she there? And Scolder sees Omega sitting there.
Again, just like chill. It's got this. Maybe even happier than when she left, of course, because now she knows she has a plan.
Right.
As compared to just being able to get out, she's going to be able to.
She now knows that, like, that
have an offense.
That Zill Beast is going to be a part of it, man, and I'm excited for it. But we get cut back. We finally see where Echo is, because the last time we saw him, he was walking into the base, and then just kind of like, I think we see maybe one early cut of him in the base as well, kind of going to a terminal. But here, we see him going into, like, he gets a map, goes into a whole different room, sets off an alarm in the room. It's actually part of the lab, and we see who walks in, getting ready to secure the lab, is that we see Emery walks in. And she's like, hey, troopers aren't allowed to be in here. And he's like, oh, it's a special security protocol patrol thing. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Echo's kind of the silent MVP in this episode, right? He kind of just like takes control, does his own thing. He's on like the special ops mission. And he's just killing it. And this is the first time
he's Radio Dark.
Right,
he's on the Radio Dark mission here.
And this is the first time he's been like caught.
Caught.
And luckily, I guess it's by Emery, right?
Right, and like, you know, he stops because she calls him out. She's like, "You're Echo, right?" And
I've heard about you.
You know, like, Omega's talked about you. You know, I'm Emery, and it's like, oh yeah,
I know about you too. Yeah,
Omega's told us about you too.
Which, hey, you were nice to her, so I'll take that for You'll at least maybe help me.
Like, the only reason there's a conversation happening here
instead of just her,
and no gunfire between anyone, and Emery not ratting Echo out is the Omega factor. Is that Omega was like, no, Echo and like bad people. Emery is good people.
At the end of the day, I think she is Omega. So. We're just seeing her finally realizing what's going on.
And that she has more of a choice.
This is at least an opportunity for her to have that freedom of choice.
Yeah, to have more of a choice than she's ever, like, really thought she's...
And to still have some deniability.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, yeah. But
to be able to still work within the system. Which is, you know.
And so this is great. This is very true because, you know, like, Emery's like, well, she always said that Squad would come back for her, and, like, Echo's like, not just her. All of the prisoners, like all of them, all of those people you were doing those experiments on and stuff, and you know, she's like, well, I've just been like doing my job. He's like, yeah, I've heard that excuse too, but he's like, you're a clone. Right. How can you like be a part of this.
Right. How do you not see that you are a part of this?
And
that you're also kind of being experimented on in a weird way. Like,
right?
Yeah,
and like you're being taken advantage of.
Yeah, for sure.
And,
you have no real freedom.
Yeah, right?
What are you doing? What are you fighting for?
But you know what? Emery gets it. Like, Emery's like, you know what?
I think she's gotten it for a while. This is her first moment.
This is
like
her
clarity.
This is her first real moment who's not Crosshair, who I don't think she trusts at all.
No. Understandably.
Right. Understandably, betrayed them, went to the Empire, and then escaped with Omega. So, like, doesn't trust them. But Echo, from the start, every single point, Echo was, like, always being held in a good high honor, and rightfully so.
Yeah, Echo's one of the more straightforward
Echo, Rex,
heroes.
all of them, you know, like one of the straightforward heroes. It's a great call.
Yeah.
And so she's like, well, you won't be able to free those children without my assistance. And Echo's like, whoa, I'm not saying no to this. I'm saying I didn't know about this.
Yeah.
Children?
Yeah. What you mean?
And like, she's like, Omega's not the only child here.
Which, good on Echo for calling, like, attention to that. Like, oh my god, you guys are, like, crazy evil. Like, this is, like, worse than I even expected.
Right? And so then we get the final cut back to the vault. Jax is done with all of his vitals, and you know they go away.
No, like alarm bells went off yet.
Nothing going off. Skulder, the droids are all fine, and they're sitting at their table. And you know, Omega is giving them the 911. You know, giving them the lowdown.
The 411.
Yeah, the 411. There we go. That's what I meant.
Hell yeah.
You know, she's like, I found something big. You know, and I have a plan, and I'm gonna need your help. And the episode ends.
But she does not seem. Yeah, she seems. Let's go. Like she seems happy. Yeah.
I'm really excited, man.
I love how she's taking charge. I love how the batch is just flawlessly like getting to her. Like there's been hiccups here and there, but they're just running through them. Like everything's coming up Millhouse.
Right. But the Bad Batch has been awesome, man. I love it. I'm very glad that
I mean, let's be honest. There's no way that everything's going to be covered in the next episode. There's just no way. So that in my mind leaves open the possibility of future series coming from this, and I'm excited for anything that would happen.
Well, I mean,
that
you're not wrong. And there's clearly already a path of the future in between the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy with the Mandoverse.
Right.
And
like I don't think they want to pile on too much right now, so it's nice to just get this 3-season arc of Bad Batch, and then you can continuously roll out new things where Omega shows up or whoever survives, I guess, because I truly don't think everyone's going to survive this.
No, not everyone. I mean, I hope some people survive, and then we get something else that happens here. Whether they do like Tales of the Empire or like Tales of the Jedi. I mean, Tales of the Empire is coming.
Right.
Tales of the Jedi we already have. I mean, if they did like Tales of the Bad Batch or something,
Tales of the Clones.
Yeah, Tales of the Clones or something. Like I would totally be into something like that as well.
I think the droids deserve their say next. I think we need a serious droids show. Like, I mean, at this point, I've talked about it a million times, but there is no way they don't have consciousness. There's like no way.
Yeah.
Yes, they're a little more controllable than your average like human, but like at some point, some of these robots are helping just as much.
Even think about it, like the way that Luke interacts with like R2 and stuff. Like if R2 tells him like he takes everything R2 says negatively very seriously.
Yeah, absolutely.
Luke will still do his own thing and go against what R2's saying, but he takes
it into account.
He takes it into account and is like noted and like will plan accordingly to that advice and stuff. So like the idea of like of what you're saying, like this consciousness or not seeing like more like they're basically AI, man. Like, you know, in a lot of ways.
Absolutely.
Of like, you know,
they're able to have their memories wiped, which is maybe like
that's a questionable thing too.
But even that, like, you know, we know R2 supposedly hasn't had his memory wiped.
So hold on. I also want to talk about really quickly before we wrap up. We were talking about maybe not having everything wrap up in next week's finale. We also don't know the runtime of next week's episode.
True.
So it could be
But even if it's an hour,
but
there's just too much. There's too much that is on the.
So I'm really excited. I really hope that they give like a clear like tease of like what the next series will be, because there is something else. Even if we only get like one season of something, because that's all they really have else to tell.
Right.
But I think we're gonna get something else. I'm really excited.
I mean, I hope at least. I think I've heard that Asajj is going to show up in the Tales of the Empire show, right?
Yeah.
But hopefully, just like they did with Ahsoka, where they kind of fleshed out her story more of like why she is where she's at now with Tales of the Empire, you get hopefully that same thing with Asajj, and then maybe they continue her story somewhere, and then that's where Omega could come back,
because they've already, it was already shown earlier this season. Asajj
she needs to be trained.
Asajj is alive. If Omega is going to learn anything about Force or Force control or anything, she's got to be trained. Ventress is down for it, but like there's the Bad Batch factor that like her brothers were never going to just let her go off with which is fair,
right? Totally.
But
they'd probably be like, maybe there's another Jedi. Like hopefully they have still hope right now. Like Order 66 happened, but if this girl's alive, hopefully there's someone else.
There's something else.
But I think beggars can't be choosers in times of like super tense moments like this. So
yeah, I'm really
take
excited.
the training where you can get it. So yeah, I'm excited. You're excited. We're ready for this, baby. Star Wars, keep it coming.
I love it.
Yeah, the Acolyte, we had Skeleton Crew, all that live action stuff, and then Tales of the Empire.
Tales of the Empire, May 4th.
Keep up with the animated stuff is my recommendation always.
Absolutely.
Because I think it's just as interesting.
I agree, and they always give
especially
you
as a whole.
They give you really neat nuggets of stuff there, like Tales
like there's episodes, or you could take them or leave them as each episode, but like as a whole, it tells a lot. It gives a lot of context and lore.
Because Tales of the Jedi was a really great Ahsoka Count Dooku dive, actually.
Yep.
That gave a lot of context to like both of their stories, and that was awesome. I'm really hoping Tales of the Empire will have like Asajj Ventress.
I think I've seen maybe General Grievous have some kind of story in there. Yeah, I hope there's some really cool.
I'm really excited. I mean, if it's anywhere near what Tales of the Jedi was,
I love the animation. It was so like clean.
Tales of the Empire will be just as great. But with that, we're gonna wrap this episode up. I am JimmE with the Triple C Collective. This is
Collin.
And we want to thank you all for joining us for Bad Batch Season 3, Episode 14, Flashpoint. One more. One way out. Please like and subscribe to our video and to our channel. And as always, may